Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is one that have been requested a lot from me, but since I finally have a spare time, I thought why not? So I'll be sharing my tips on how I make a concise and effective digital notes. So without further ado, let's get started. So guys, I'll be showing you a flip through of my already made notes. These ones are one of my GI models, which is called the therapeutic approaches to gastrointestinal tract. And the next few are my applied immunology notes. So guys, if you would like to make beautiful notes like this, stay tuned to the end of the video. So the iPad I use is the iPad Pro 2018 11 inches, and this comes with a second generation Apple Pencil. I also got the 64 gig one, as I actually don't need more than that. And my iPad case is from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description box below. I got it in grey because I'm a neutral and minimal person like that, and I like the case because this protects the pencil as well. Also, the case has a folded features where I can keep my iPad standing, and I kind of view it as well at the same time as my laptop. I don't have to keep it lying down all the time, and it also has a protective features, like those are like silicone filling where it protects the edges of the iPad. So that's one main reason why I got the case. It was like £19 or so, but it's not bad in as much as it does the job. I'm good to go for it. So let's talk about how I make my lecture notes. So what I use is the Note Shelf app and the Notability app, and I'm going to explain why I use both of them. The Note Shelf app is the one I use to make up my notes from scratch, and then I use the Notability app to download my lectures and annotate on them during lectures. So I just have my handwritten notes on Note Shelf app, and I have my downloaded lectures on Notability app. I hope you understand what I mean that way. So when making my notes, I have 4 important processes I follow, and they have always worked for me. I'll link them down in the description box below if you would like to use them as well. The first thing I do is download lecture slides before attending the lecture. And at my university, our lecturers are so nice that they upload the lectures a week before we actually have the lectures. So what I then do is download it on the Sunday of the new week. My second process is annotating the lecture slides during the lectures, and this from there I can determine what is important. So what I do usually is that I always highlight the learning outcome, because I feel like that's the main thing the lecturers want us to know. So, and this helps me to determine how I'm going to make my notes. So while listening to the lectures, I highlight and annotate each lecture slide and star which one I think is not important, and I don't have to make lecture notes about it. The third process is checking the textbook to see if there is any added information required. This is not done very often, so it can be skipped because sometimes we have lecturers tell us that all they want us to know is on the slide. So that saves me a lot of time checking on or doing further research and things. I just go straight to making up my notes. And the fourth process, which is the last process, is actually making my notes as simple and as concise as possible. Now to how I make my lecture notes. The first thing I do when I make my lecture notes is that I make my header. And I make my header using apps such as Procreate or Hover. And this is mainly because I can't do ad lettering design to save my life. I've tried so many hard to learn how to do it, but it just doesn't work with me. And my dexterity is just so hard that I can't really figure it out. So that's the main reason why I use the app. The Procreate app is one of price of $9.99 to download, while the Hover app is free to download. However, if you want some added features like more fonts that you really like to have, you can pay for Hover app monthly if that's what you want to do. So this is me using the Hover app. I like to use the transparent feature in landscape form, and once I pick that, I just type in my text of like the title of my topic that I'm going to write my notes about, and then I just pick up my preferable font that I am feeling that at that moment, and all I do is save it and then download it back onto Noteshelf app where I'm going to make my lecture notes. So the other app, like I mentioned previously, that I used to do my header is Procreate, and all I do is I have a transparent canvas style, write out my topic like I did in Hover app, and I just pick the font. The reason why I do use Procreate sometimes is that you can automatically copy and paste the thing instead of from Hover app where you save it and then you have to re-upload it on your page. So that's the main difference between those two. Aside that, there's no huge difference at all. Second thing I do is to write my subtopics. I always write my subtopics in different colored pen or write it in black pen and put my highlighter over it. This is because I want it to stand out aside from the main topic, so I know what I need to write as the body of the notes. The next thing I do is the main body of the notes. With this, I prefer to use bullet points as it is straight to the point and it will be very easy for me to use it during revision time. It's like making a mini summary notes. So what I do is that my main point, I always use a separate bullet point style, which I did develop myself out of nowhere. I've never seen it, but I just developed it. And then the second one, I use asterisk for the explanation of the main points, and the last bit I use is dash for my examples. The last thing I do is to add pictures to my lecture notes if necessary. If you notice from all the picture slides I've added to my Instagram, which I will put somewhere on the screen for you to see and check on, there are some of my lecture notes that they don't have pictures in it, because to me personally, I like reading out stuff than seeing pictures, because just having a picture, I find it hard to understand what is actually going on. So I prefer to write it more in words. But if the pictures are very important, I need to learn how to draw them, then I add the pictures to my lecture notes. So this is everything about how I make my digital notes. So thank you so much for joining me through this process. However, if you guys would like me to make a video about telling the differences between the apps I use, like NoteShelf app and Notability app, please comment down below so I can see how many people are requesting and I can make a video on that. See you guys in my next video. Bye bye.